this proves to be true.
Okay, let's start the meeting then.
Yep.
So, Roland is in Turkey. Åke is on his downside. And Peter Eller is coming.
Told you.
He
Have you
said-
talked to him today?
He called me himself that
Okay, great.
he will do what he can to come. So, but he's having press. They're publishing
Yeah, deadline.
the publishing deadline today, so they're very busy. Anyway, we have to fix the formalia. So who will be the meeting?
Chairman.
Chairman, yeah, and secretary.
Ja, det är väl
Okay,
Ditta som är chairman och Per som är sekreterare och sen är jag
and you
här
are
också.
the justerare.
Ja.
Okay, and what about the suggested day order? Any other suggestions? We have already had sort of additional suggestions before we start this, but right now we are sort of fine with this, or something else we
Ja.
want to talk about for autumn? Any plans for autumn that I haven't mentioned here?
This Canadian transport.
Yeah, but I think it is here, isn't it? It is Studsvik, Canada Transport.
Yes. And then there's the 11th September that they want us to do something to commemorate the start of the Fukushima disaster. Since it's 6
Okay.
months. We could consider it. Maybe we could send a letter or do something. Maybe we could publish some of what Busby is saying. Mix it together with our own comments about our situation here with the Baltic Sea and so on.
And who has that initiative, 11th September initiative? Who?
That was the Japanese activists that are
Japanese.
asking for help.
Japanese activists. You have the email or something,
Yes.
the link, yeah? Great. Yeah, I'll put it in here, okay?
And who's the owners and responsible persons in or institutions in Studsvik?
Yeah. But that Studsvik point we can come to later, okay? We can check what we do with Studsvik when we come to that point in the daily order. Yeah? But right now we're just sort of trying to check daily order if we are satisfied with it, or we want to have some additional questions in it.
Yes, if it could be a point, I mean,
It is there.
it is there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll maybe write in it the leaders of Studsvik to it, yeah?
Yes, we always have to find out the persons and the institutions that are the responsible ones.
Exactly. To have the contact with
It's a
the...
general principle to find out who is responsible.
Exactly.
They want nowadays to be
Invisible.
in the dark, mostly.
Yeah. Very good initiative. So, we are quite fine with it otherwise, yeah? Any other ideas what we have to do in the autumn?
No, I think
No,
it's good.
yeah? Okay, then we have decided on the daily order. And then we can start to discuss the events that are coming. And the events that are coming is that we have to... There is this meeting on the 22nd of September in Scandic Sergel Plaza Hotel in central Stockholm. And it is about the national... what is remiss in English?
Yeah, so we are allowed to take part of this event, and how many of us are allowed to,
There is
to
a
be
whole-
there, and
there is a
which
whole-
ones are chosen to be representatives?
There are
and-
there are 2 A4 pages of organizations who are allowed to discuss the final repository of nuclear waste plan in Forsmark. We are not really in the list, but we have been in the process with Baltic Sea Region Radioactivity Watch, and we and ECRR also, the Baltic Sea Regional ECRR, and we are mentioned in this book about the SKB yearly book about what's going on. Here it is said that we have we have done statements on that the wrong risk model is being used when we're fixing the nuclear waste cemeteries, and so we are in the picture there, and we.
But the first step would be to announce that we're coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not to ask
yeah.
if we can come, but just to say that we
But
are
to announce.
coming.
Yeah, you're right.
And say
You're right.
we
Yeah.
have submitted a miss,
Exactly.
and we want to send whatever 2, 3, as many people as we can send.
So what about you? Are you available then? Would you like to come, or I would.
Yeah, well, yes, I will consider it. If you contact me and say that it's clear, you can ask for me to
Yeah.
participate as well. What
Yeah.
about Busby? Will he be there then?
Yeah.
He will?
Yeah.
And you? It would
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah. So
Then I'll have to prepare whatever if I'm going to try to say something.
we can make a powerful approach.
Yes.
And what I'm trying to make happen by then is.
Or while you guys are doing the serious bit, I can plaster the walls with some more activist kind of things.
Yeah. I'm not sure that there will be space for that, but you could talk to crucial key people.
Yes.
As
and pass out.
We could do
something.
Yeah, we could do some pre-work to know
Yeah.
who these are and to give them ECRR model description. This is something we haven't been working too successfully with.
You guys will have to pull that together, prepare something.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you could be the person who sort of deals
Yes.
with it in the area. That
Yes.
would be perfect plan. Yeah, and
So you have to check if it's possible for us to get in there.
yeah, it is possible, definitely.
Yes.
But I will send an application that
Yes.
we're coming.
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to come, Larsson?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
and do you know what
you can tell me
do you know
if
what
it's
it is?
possible.
Do you know what it is? It is sort of 3 big boxes of research that SKB have done on the 30 years on how to build nuclear waste repository, final one. And we have to tell what is wrong with this application. 3 big boxes of information, all research. These 3 boxes should be in here in the office. Are they? I don't think so.
I have no idea.
Are they here? I know Miles had them, but they are not here, are they? I don't think that it is fixed here. But we could ask Eduardo when he comes. Let's try to remember to ask him. Anyway, I have seen the boxes, and there are 3 CDs. Have you seen them?
Nope.
There are 3 CDs with these
Documents.
research documents that have to be sort of scanned through and to find the crucial errors and reply on them and make notice of them as environmental monitorers that we are, sort of. And it is not such a big deal if you are professional. I mean, Busby had this big environmental assessment book, and he did it in just a couple of hours because he knew what was crucial points, yeah?
Well, nuclear plants are not responsible. That's a crucial thing. If we go into details about this, then we have accepted the principle of having nuclear
Yeah, but you
plants.
have to deal with the waste now.
Yes, but that's a part of it.
Yeah, but we
Where,
have to
where
deal.
does the waste come? It comes from
Yeah,
mining of uranium.
Anyway,
and,
but we have to find the way where to place it now.
yes.
Because it is on the open surface of the planet. And if it starts to cook, then it will be the most radioactive planet in the universe.
Yes.
Because it's millions of tons of concentrated uranium and plutonium, sort of
On a concentrated place.
in pools, in on the whole surface, you know. So the question is now. So we have agreed then that what we do with that, yeah? And those 3 CDs actually, with that information, can be ordered from SKB. It's just a matter of writing an email to them with your address, Per. So it would be very valuable to check out the radioactivity files, because there were none of them in the environmental impact statement. There was only 1 page of lies.
The 3 CDs is the research documents, all the research documents.
Yeah.
That has to
Everything
do
that has been given to. For the whole application is 3. It's probably not CDs but DVDs. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 DVDs. Application for the nuclear waste.
I still say that, of course, we want to take care of nuclear waste we already have created, but we must stop creating more and not be in Sweden responsible for taking care of still more
because
uranium from other countries.
nuclear power plants are spitting out the nuclear waste all the time. Every minute they are producing the next garbage. Okay, so that was the first point. Are we done with it?
Yes.
So the next point is the cooperation with SKB and SSM, with the Swedish nuclear waste company, and with the Swedish nuclear with Swedish Radiation Protection Agency, these 2 organizations. So the plan is that we now contact them, and I have actually talked with Saida. You know Saida, the very sort of manager of SKB.
Yes.
One of the responsible there. I have talked to her and said that we actually are looking for possibility to work with industry to create nuclear waste repositories in a much bigger and much faster rate, because they can't stay in pools. If we have solar flare, it will all be cooking just in the plane. I mean, we need to approach this issue, and so it is offering an open hand to industry to work closer, sort of to stop this hostility that is there, and to find good, proper solutions that will protect the living forms. And it could be mutually productive, both for them and the methods of work we have. But it is sort of a new level of cooperation. We haven't been working like that. We have sort of more been attacking their approach, but I hope we can reach this cooperation level where we just make them to put higher standards on radioactivity risk modeling.
I mean, we can give the message to SKB, but really the point would be to get SSM, the authority, to adopt our risk model. Now, SKB would never have an interest in it because it'll just make their work much more difficult. But SSM have the duty to protect the people. So for them it would be most important too.
Yeah, but
if they really want to do that job.
But it is relatively true because anyway, the people of SKB, their children have to live next generations too. So sort of we are all sort of in one planet, and we need some secure solutions. And so
I wonder if you couldn't use Fukushima, the accident there, somehow. No matter even a Western facility, even a high technological level facility can have accidents. The same for a repository. And we haven't yet seen the full consequences of what happened in Japan, but we know it was at least as serious as Chernobyl, maybe many times more serious.
Hundreds and thousands times.
And it's much more people population around the place than there was in Chernobyl.
But how would we use it? How would we use it?
Somehow, I think we could use it, because it's a very...
Yeah, of course.
It's very much in people's mind. It has been.
Of course, it is understood. Yeah.
Yes.
It's now is really it's in the air.
Yes.
That people are
Yes.
sort of uncomfortable with radiation. But so I will have to write to Sara and SSM.
You should write to them.
Yeah.
Ditta. Right.
To SKB and SSM, a letter to arrange a meeting. Because Sara then said that we could have a meeting together and they would arrange some sort of presentation for Busby, so that they could sort of... because it was so silly. I was talking to her about low level radiation, and she said, "What is that?" She said, "That's background radiation, yeah?" Sara said, "Sara, the manager of the radioactive waste repository projects. She doesn't know what it is." So this is really alarming. They are so poorly informed, and competence is alarming. So anyway, so she genuinely said, let's arrange a meeting and let's let Busby to sort of give us the information, and I haven't followed it up, so now I'll try to do it. It is a bit short of time to arrange a proper meeting, and they are probably very stressed with this meeting of 22nd. We will see how it works out. And then there is this next point is Baltic Sea study, which is, we have started it actually. I can inform you that we have started it. We have written to cancer registries in Sweden, Denmark, Finland, and all 3 Baltic states. And it was first very hard. They were sort of very negative, and but then we have been sort of following up several tours of conversations, and now it's sort of softening up, and they are saying, okay, we will give you data. First they were saying, giving different types of excuses, and but we are now opening up.
Is this a question of statistics on cancer?
Exactly, it's epidemiology. Exactly, it's the main point of the main focus of the study is to compare the region statistics of cancer around in the areas around Baltic Sea coast, in the close areas, sort of a couple of kilometers or 5 kilometer area to the coast, and compare it to the inland regions. That is the main focus, because we have found very severe increase in cancer in Ireland around coast areas, and so it is expected that it could be even much worse statistics in Baltic Sea, because the contamination is reported to be so much higher.
So how many countries' cancer registries have you contacted, did you say?
So it is then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we will probably even try to meet Swedish cancer registry person there in contact list when Busby comes to Sweden. So it will be a heavy week.
The 6 countries, can you tell me off your head?
Yes,
which ones?
yes, it was Denmark and Sweden and Finland and 3 Baltic states.
Latvia, Estonia.
And Lithuania. Yeah. And so we can move on, yeah? Yeah, maybe I will still say that this Vilnius anti-nuclear conference 3-day event in November, it is something that is organized by Tanya Novikova from Belarus.
Yes, the one that was active on the Baltic tour.
Yeah, she's very active, very nice person, and
she's
very
a journalist.
Extremely competent
and brave, not
journalist,
afraid
very
of the
brave,
fucking
and
dictator.
yeah, and even
She's
very
running a big
affected.
risk.
Yeah, and very affected also in her health. She's
Mhm.
not well. She's been
Mhm.
ill and operated,
Mhm.
and people are very sick in Belarus after Chernobyl. Very, very heavy health situation there. But she's working, doing this effort. And I talked to Miles, and the report there is that they didn't get funding that they expected to get because of some they were applying to Swedish forum organization, but they didn't get funding there with some administrative excuse that Milkas wasn't sort of fit organization for them. But anyway, Milkas has given some hope to Tanya that they will sponsor some level of money, 20 or 30,000, and it will be finally decided on the 27th of September, which is very late to plan a meeting, but that's how it is. And the meeting will.
What date will it be decided?
That is the problem here. Nobody knows the exact date, and the time is coming. And
In September.
no, November. 3 days in November. But even if the budget will be extremely low, the conference will happen anyway, as it is said. Yes, but unfortunately, we don't know the date.
When will it be decided? If Milkas is going to sponsor them?
27th of September. Which is very late. So that's it. And what I can say there is that Busby has said he will attend it. But it's not sure because the dates are not sure, and if he has other obligations when they put on the dates, so it's very insecure that the dates are not put on. So anyway. Would you like to go there? Vilnius?
If you need me, I mean, but you can probably do a good job without me. Or?
Yeah, so I'm just talking about your will, sort of. So, if you are interested, you can. We will see, sort of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can proceed to the next point, yeah, and that is Fukushima in Japan. That is still having disorder and being a global genetical toxicology center. I sent out on an email list this response that Busby made to this very silly, criminally silly study that they did in Fukushima. Did you see that email, yeah?
Yes.
So it is so unscientific, and they are really covering it up.
Yes, just like at Chernobyl.
Even worse, because the Chernobyl people were really evacuated, but this is creating ghettos around the place, and leaving children to get contaminated and just get sick. And that's just unbelievable. And they are covering the data, doing totally poor, criminally poor science to cover the data. And there is a very nice report from Busby there on this. Have you seen it? Lars Rutger, you haven't, yeah? Remind me, I will print it out for you, this report. Anybody else who wants to say something on Fukushima? It was this about American children, yeah? The increase in the infant deaths, yeah? That was 50% increase in Pennsylvania, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And that was, the scientist's name was...
Hvad var det? Du skrev det op før. Manago, eller noget sånt. Did you want to connect this? Or did you want to bring this into this point?
Mangano, yeah?
Yeah.
Mangano was his name. Not really, but I mean, we could just have a little brief discussion on it.
Yeah, we could follow up, or Busby could contact him if you get the name straight and he watches the YouTube. The rest of the bullshit, Fox News and so on, we don't care about. But getting in touch with this man and see if he's learned anything in the month that has passed, if he's more sure now,
Yeah,
or if Busby just had a telephone conversation with him.
Yeah, of course. And then there was this report that there are cracks in the
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
It just came today on the news list or something, that there was cracks below the reactors, from the ground below, and the steam was coming out, the radioactive steam.
Yeah,
There has been talk about it before, that it had melted down through the inner walls and sunk to the floor, but now it sounds like it could have gone through the floor and into the earth, and then it's real bad. Then it'll go into the groundwater.
And there is no way to clean it.
No. There's no way to clean any of all the releases. I mean, how are you going to get it away from the water, from the air, from all the different places that it travels to. It's impossible. There's no method for it.
What will happen there? Will it be cooking forever there under?
Well, if it reaches the groundwater, I expect there will be a steam explosion or something, because this is really hot and active. And it'll spread the radioactivity out in the atmosphere.
But it'll
burst.
Sort of cool down and stop the melting at least.
I doubt it. Maybe, but I doubt it.
So it will be forever underground.
I don't know. You better ask Busby. He will understand a little more than I do.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. So. Okay, and the next point was maybe Lars Rutger can tell about what you heard on radio about Studsvik.
Yeah, on the radio they said that the transport of Canadian nuclear waste is now on its way to Studsvik in Sweden, and this is something we don't know very much more about. It was stopped earlier, but now it is some way decided upon to happen anyway.
You heard it today, and what program?
I think it was on the news.
Just normal news?
Within a week back from now.
A week ago, yeah?
No, perhaps more or less.
Okay, some days ago, yeah?
Mm.
Okay, and there was some type of good news before. We were hoping that they have stopped the transports because there was some American MP who had fixed this.
There's many countries, they have been protesting, also from in the parliaments and so on.
Yeah.
Parties trying to raise the question. But here, the only thing that has happened is the two miljöpartister in Nykøbing, near Studsvik, and I think it's Ken Petersen is one of them, have overclocked the permission that SSM gave them to make the transport to Sweden. These two
they have
politicians have appealed this decision to a higher court, but I don't know nothing about
and
what has
it's
happened.
probably now sort of fixed,
We
yeah?
could call Ken Petersen to find out.
I see. So they have been appealing
Actually,
and
I
appealing.
can call him now when we have a little break.
Yeah.
It's not way too
Yeah,
late
you're right. We could get the information there.
to see if we have any
Direct,
follow-up.
I bet he knows everything about it. And then we were talking about that we should find leaders of Studsvik. Yeah, did you know who are the owners of Studsvik company?
Yes, to find the persons that we could say are responsible.
I'm sure Ken
Because
Petersen had
it's just this that everybody that rules these shameful enterprises, they want not to be seen as being the active ruler of such enterprises. So it's very, very interesting every way to find out the person who is responsible.
Yeah. And what was their Per? What are they transporting? What was there? They were planned to transport 16 generators or something. What was there? Or 60 tons, or what was it?
32 steam generators in the first shipment, and maybe 32 more.
Oh God.
And each one weighs 100 tons, I think. So
What?
it's lots and lots. It could be almost 100,000 tons or something, upwards towards that.
God.
And it's got a whole list of all kinds of radioactive isotopes inside, including plutonium and other
What would they do with this in Studsvik?
Melt it down, mix it with some other metals, measure it. Oh, it's still too high. Mix it some more, melt it some more. Well, no, it's safe. And ship it out and tell nobody where it's coming from. And yet it can be used for toys, for spoons you eat with, for your refrigerator, for your car, anything. The new Volvos may be made of radioactive metals. Unless each company gives us a guarantee that they will make sure that the metal they use in their production is not from radioactive waste. Otherwise it could be in anything, because nobody keeps track of it. Nobody cares if it's made for toys for children.
But this is such an enormous amount of metal that is radioactive.
Yes, and most of it, 90% or more, will be let loose on the market. And only some condensation of some stuff, mostly as a pretense, will be shipped back to Canada, and they will say, oh, we've sent the worst stuff back to Canada. Bullshit.
and it will go...
Most of it will land here, in the Baltic Sea.
In Swedish markets of metal?
Yeah, it's a Swedish business people that would be selling it to anybody that wants steel.
And why would it land in the Swedish Sea? How would you get...
In the process, while they melt it down and mix it up and dilute it and all what they do, all their little tricks, it goes out the chimney and it goes out in the water right straight into the sea.
Yes. And by sea it goes back to Canada.
Very little of it.
Eventually.
Very little of it. It's only 1% exchange with the...
But I mean, if we already know the Baltic Sea is the most radioactive sea in the world, still, also after Fukushima and after Sellafield, the Baltic Sea is worst. Why would we accept radioactive waste coming from 30,000 kilometers away? You know.
What is the money amount they expect to do on this, you said?
The first 32 turbines, they expect $250 million.
Studsvik company?
Yes. And if there's one more shipment of 32 turbines, as they mentioned in New Technique, I just fetched the article now, then it'll be $500 million.
Yeah, altogether.
That Studsvik can put in their pocket, and all the rest of us will have to carry the problems. And they make the profit.
Oh, this is very interesting indeed.
Yes, and who is the persons being responsible for this?
And this will go on for generations and generations and generations into all the future, with all our grandchildren and so on that have to live by the sea.
Yeah, you're right. This is madness. Okay, then we have to find out what's going on there and when the transportation is expected. And who are the owners of Studsvik country who are making that profit, and make it sort of better public so people can see it as much as we can, at least. Okay, are we done with this issue? So the decision here is that we get to know who is the owner of who are the owners of profits in this business, this very dirty, deadly business. And then the decision is that we make this event more public on our webpage. And
yeah, actually I think we should have a page on our homepage. We should have a special page just campaigning against Studsvik, showing all
transports.
Well, about Studsvik as a company. They shouldn't be
we do have a special page on Studsvik.
Yes.
We do. So we just increase it properly.
Yes, or we can make it very visible.
Yeah, we should put it on the front
Canadian
page.
Transport to Studsvik.
We should put it on the front page.
And then they can click on that to go in and get all the stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So the next is more formal question. The more formal question is about that I have been to Milka's meeting in the beginning of May, before. But that is about the events that have passed. This has come wrongly here.
Ja, altså frågan.
Yeah. You're right.
Questions.
So I suggested there that we, because green women are partners, and they do projects together, and they share the Milkas resources, which is 1 million approximately. Okay, it's not much left there this year, as we heard. It's something like 100,000, if that, because they have financial problems with their audit. So anyway, do we want to cooperate with Milkas? What is the feeling and idea? Or do we want to be totally on our own?
Have they asked us?
No, they have never
You're
asked
just asking us if we want to.
I have asked them because sort of we don't have any sort of financial.
Yes, and what did they say? How did they respond?
They responded that we should write an application to them.
But could you sense if they were positive or neutral?
It was
negative?
neutral. It was totally neutral because I was quite on them on the yearly meeting. I was not a comfortable person for them. I was, as usual, sort of putting radical questions and trying to film the event, which they sort of stopped. And so.
Was it just a regular Milkas meeting, or was it the yearly?
Yearly meeting.
It was the yearly.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so it finished very awkwardly because they didn't allow us to put the questions that we wanted to put outside the frame they had. They just cut it off and said, and said the meeting is over.
You and Busby, or you?
No, I was alone there, so it was sort of easy to make me to see too radical to deal with. So I don't know. I don't think they will be happy to have us around. Of course, we are too radical for them. But there is sort of an open door on their webpage that they want to. They say that they are open for everybody to work with them, and there is a set of possibilities if we take that step. I just wanted to hear your opinion.
Well, if we care about the Baltic Sea, that's our main topic.
And the cooperation between the states around the sea.
Then Milkas is concerned with the final repository, where it's going to be, which is planned to be by the sea. And the sea is our subject. We're the specialists on the sea, more than Milkas even. So it would be obvious for us to cooperate. Whether it's tactically smart to ask for it, if they're going to turn us down anyway, it won't bring us any further, but maybe we should ask, or it would be natural for us to cooperate.
Yeah, I think it's very natural too. I think it is.
Yes, but
and they've got money so far.
Anyway,
so who else is going to fund some campaigning against putting the waste by the sea if it isn't going to be Milkas? Nobody else has any money. And we're already, Busby is already sinking a lot of money into taking care of our common problem.
Busby is bankrupt.
Yeah.
He's totally drained.
Yeah.
But we must ask the other parts of Milkas, not Milkas, because Milkas is maybe not having any funds anymore. Then it's just
you're right. We should look for other
owners
funding.
of Milkas we have to negotiate with.
We should look for other funding too, but it's such a big jungle of funding looking, and we have tried and it has never given us anything. And anyway, Milkas is quite an organization that we know, and we sort of we are quite common to each other. Although we are not very comfortable with each other, but we know each other, and we have experience of working and approaching issues. So we say that we will try, yeah? We will make an application to them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. That's the decision then, to make an application to Milkas for cooperation. And then this is just a transition to the 5th point, where we are discussing the earlier events that we have been in. So, and then I will proceed and tell about Milka's yearly meeting. And it was, I think it was better organized than previously, and there were more people there. But it was possible to discuss issues, and Eduardo was there from FMKK and from anti-nuclear organization Swedish, where I am now also not an ordinary board member but suppleant. But yeah, so there is. But they didn't want to be filmed. There was only one person who supported me on filming the yearly meeting, and that was Birgitta Möller.
Mm-hmm.
She was the only person who supported me and raised the hand. All the others voted no, so there is no transparency.
There never was.
And it would have been nice to have transparency, so I will keep sort of insisting on this. But what is your experience of Milka's meetings?
It's like it's all made up beforehand or something. There's no chance for anybody to have any influence. It's one person from each organization that makes the decision. How can you have cooperate a merger of two organizations if there's just one person from each that makes all the decision? There's thousands of members, but one person from each shall make the decision and make the council and so on. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's a terrible structure.
And that yearly meeting is the only time that these members can have influence on those two people.
And then everything else that we do and Miljöförbundet Johan's Friends of the Earth do, it's democratic, it's grassroots, it's groups, it's people, mobilizing. So how come at the table where the money is decided upon, all the money, none of us have any money otherwise, it's just one person from each group that makes the decisions.
Only a couple of hours.
And they don't want the process to be open so the members can see what's happening. It's because they have decided beforehand how to split the money or something.
That is the thing is that that is really so that it is only
or they
a
want to
couple
keep
of
those
hours.
Decisions for themselves.
Yeah,
they want
that's
to
obvious.
rule the money.
That's obvious.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's only a couple of hours in the year when other people can make influence.
Yeah, and an annual meeting.
And then
It really needs to be an open thing, or else it's not a democratic organization.
yeah.
And people should be able to speak, and people should be able to participate in the decision-making process, even if it comes down to one vote from each group at the end. But it's a ridiculous setup. I mean, how can you have one person from each group and no more?
Yeah. But democracy is not an easy thing, indeed. It is not an easy thing because it is
totally contrary to grassroots movements and things like this, and popular movements among young people, or any kind of environmental movement. I've never heard of something like this. It's like Stone Age, Old Age, Middle Ages, something.
I think it's quite common now that they built these umbrella organizations over all kinds of non-governmental organizations, and then they have the similar approach there. It's like approximately like party system too. You have sort of party
Yes, I can
dictatorship in the
understand
party.
if there was like 20 representatives, but if it's just one from each group.
But in parties, political parties, there is also one person who sort of is the decider over who will be on the lists.
They're all
First,
board
second,
of people
third.
that will speak and will vote and so on.
So it is very undemocratical system.
Yes, it's
all of the society that we
Stalinism.
have. Yeah, and that's what we have to deal with. But I can't say that our little BSRRW is very, very sort of democratical either. It's
Well, we're not
democracy.
we're not
We
exactly
are-
a membership organization.
No, we are not
That's
a
big
membership
that's a big
organization.
difference.
We are sort of an expert organization.
We're campaigning outfit or something.
And scientific expertise organization. But democracy is not an easy thing, indeed. It is not. Okay, so we have to learn this. So let's proceed further then. And the next question was, there was Karolinska Institute. We were planning to open an office in Karolinska Institute.
Mhm.
Everything we had already done investments. There we had more than 200,000 Swedish crowns there. All ready to invest in opening an office and starting European Committee on Radiation Risk group. But we realized that Karolinska Institution has problems with their connection to industry. The bosses over the people that we cooperate with had quite troublesome reputation. They were there was particularly one person who was endocrinologist, and he was found guilty of cooperating with industry. And then they were really not cooperating with us to start our group there. We had really big trouble there. And in the end, they didn't even give us possibility to have an email there. Even not an email. And at that point, we realized that we will withdraw.
Mhm.
So we took out the money from there. And but we still have the people that we cooperate there with.
Mhm.
So we are doing this Baltic Sea study research together with them.
Is there a protocol from Milkas how the money is used?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. But Karolinska Institute, so our understanding of things is that it is an institution that is not an independent research institution, and they have become very profit interested, and administrative fees. Just if you put, so if to make research there, you have to make investment there, and they take 20% of that investment as administrative fee.
Mhm.
Imagine.
Mhm.
So everybody who does research in Karolinska has to have
Money.
money, and they have to pay 1/5 of it to Karolinska.
Yes, and they put 20% of it in their own pockets for their own business. So they make a business out of doing research, and anybody that hopes to have any research cooperation with them needs to come with a lot of money.
And only people who
So what kind
already
of
have
research is that?
businesses can invest in this.
Yes.
And this is not science, this is corporate lobby of some kind of intelligence. This is corporate intelligence lobby, because it's not independent science at all. And the worst thing is there that they were absolutely not interested in the matter of Baltic Sea that is around them, sort of. They were not interested. They are sort of detached from reality. They are in the illusion of profit world. It's very sad. It's tragically. And but we wasted lots of time there. We made several visits there, and Busby even came from England several times, and we visited scientific international excellence meetings where they sort of were scrutinizing our projects and gave some very incompetent answers on them. It's all just a joke.
Mm.
It's just a bogus, illusionary sort of system.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is what it is, and we have to deal with it. And but then we have moved our hopes from Karolinska. We have moved to Japan now, because the cooperation with Japan is, of course, flourishing now, because they are in desperate need for true science, because they are absolutely panicking, the people around there who are in radioactive ghettos. They are looking for truth and answers, and they're trying to reach out, and they are finding answers then. And there is possibility that very soon there will be opened an institute. So there is an opening.
Like the Baltic Sea radioactivity.
No.
No.
Official ICRR, institute. Then ICRR Institute.
Mm-hmm. That Busby might be involved with. I saw in one of the articles I just read today where they quoted Busby. It said that when Busby was in Japan, he said "see and so."
He was there 5 days.
After the Fukushima accident.
In the end of July.
He was
very heavily
invited, or did he go on his...
yes, of course, he was invited.
Who invited him?
Also activists who had no money, but they raised money, and he was there 5 days. And
so
he was
activists invited Busby in July. You didn't go with him?
No. I'm still sort of reluctant to go there. It's a very polluted area. But the hero Busby, he went, and
Busby in July,
and he was very heavily exploited. He was sort of working from 6 to 12 in the night,
and with journalists and media and all kinds of stuff.
Even when he was leaving Japan in the airport, 2 crews of TV crews were running after him to the plane.
5 days, yes.
But it's sort of...
So TV crews were interested in what he had to say.
Of course.
Yes.
And he was very raw, truth raw.
Yes.
He was telling these are war criminals, these people who are using these radiation risk models that are totally criminally inappropriate.
Yeah. Oh, it's a crime against humanity to cover up a danger, a global danger. It's a crime against humanity.
God, they are leaving children in these areas.
Yes.
God, it's unbelievable. And it's it's the richest country of the world. Mm-hmm. And they don't evacuate their children. So that's where we come to the point where we realize that the governments of the nations are not working for the best of the nations. They are corporate.
Of course.
Corporate. They represent corporate interests.
Yes.
They don't
We
represent
shouldn't be so surprised.
national interests. Even in Japan, So this is the global systemic error that we approach on this last point that we have here on the agenda, which is the
So what kind of institute
wait,
or
wait,
something you
wait,
said?
wait.
ICRP.
So
Is it a Japanese ICRP type, like
it's like
institution or
international
international?
committee on radiation risk. Instead of European Committee on Radiation Risk, it will be International Committee on
So
Radiation
that
Risk.
almost means it becomes worldwide.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Yeah.
Of course, that's how it has to be. And what I wanted, and the question about this systemic error where governments are destroying their nations, yeah, that is the last point which I will jump over